folks, I make you welcome to Homo Politicus. This is one program, of course, where we take a deep dive into issues as they happen in Nigeria. My name is Henry Ikwebike, and you're on to Enterprise Television. Today, interestingly, we'll be talking about the rift, the fracas between Shettima, the vice president, and of course, Kemi Badenoch, who is the leader of the Conservative Party. And of course, we're talking about Kemi deflating Shettima'S ego. But let's get into what we have on that particular matter. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged Kemi Badenoch, the UK Conservative Party leader who is of Yoruba, to remove Kemi from her name if she was not proud to be a Nigerian, instead of denigrating her heritage and her country of ancestry. Badenoch, who spent part of her childhood in Lagos, had previously said it was a city where fear was everywhere. As part of her submission, she has spoken frequently about the insecurity and corruption in the country and the experience of growing up under a military dictatorship. But Shettima, Nigeria's vice president, said that Badenoch has every right to remove the Kemi from her name if she was not proud to be from Nigeria. Kemi, who had replied Shettima, said she stands by what she says and that she is not the PR for Nigeria. Interestingly, Kemi said while growing up, she watched her family become poor as their wealth, income, and savings were inflated away by destructive government policies. They didn't call it socialism, but that is what it is. Now let's have our conversation today. And joining me to have this discussion is Sonny Igbo Anugo. He is an author and also a seasoned journalist. And just to let you know, he is the author of Shettima'S Metamorphosis, Echoes from the People's Mandate. Sonny Igbo Anugo, thank you so very much for being part of Homo Politicus today.
You're welcome. My pleasure indeed.
Thank you so very much. I would love us to, before we get into, of course, the area of concern, I would love us to talk more about this book, Shettima'S Metamorphosis, Echoes from the People's Mandate. Please run us through what motivated this book.
Well, you know, the ruckus about the 2023 presidential election. Professor Shenka had gone to South Africa, where he talked about the election, and they told his audience that P2B did not win the presidential election. Not only stopping there, he didn't stop there. He went ahead to talk about how Peter's mandate was an Igbo project, and that there was an attempt by him to get the youth in Nigeria to rise up against, and says so many things. And while people were making all kinds of, so many people were attacking him, so it became a very big conversation in the Nigerian polity. Myself as a journalist, who is also, you know, a commentator on national affairs, I did an article to tell people that they shouldn't be surprised about Shettima'S posturing. That he was a very good friend of the president. In fact, the two of them were allies in the struggle for June 12th election. They were Nadeko. Of course, they were in the exile together, things like that. And therefore, people shouldn't expect that he would dump his very good friend.
His very old good friend.
Yes, that was what I tried to capture. But surprisingly, in January or February, early February, my phone started ringing consistently by people who were asking me, what is the problem between you and Shettima? What's happening? I said, I didn't know what they were talking about because I didn't even have any inkling that anybody was going to respond to the book, to my article in that manner. I started searching. first of all, I saw the headline or the inscription.
Yes.
Then I now discovered it looks like a book. Then I didn't know what to do. So I started calling all those friends for them to eventually, my friend and colleague, both in the Guardian and the Daily Independent, Yinka Oyegbele, was a friend and a colleague. He went to the 50th anniversary ceremony of the Punch. 50th anniversary. It was there that the book was on display.
Wow.
And he saw the book and then called me to tell me that he had seen the book. But unfortunately, he couldn't buy it. I was so angry with him that he didn't buy the book. So that I would. So that made me, because I thought it was a prank, or people were just playing pranks. You know, a lot of things happen these days. So I now started searching for the book myself. I now went to Robin Heights at in Tulare.
Yes.
That's where I bought a copy of the book. And when I read the book, I was so shocked what Soyinka was talking about.
In fact, that particular book, if you search, the internet right now, you have it there. Baiting Igbophobia, Soni Igbo Anugo Thesis by Wole Soyinka.
So I was so surprised because I'm a journalist. And what we do in journalism, other people's businesses are our businesses.
Definitely.
So I'm in my professional right to write about him, as I have written about many other leaders in Nigeria. If he had taken me unprofessional, the professional aspect of it, called me a liar, called me a base animal, called me anything, I wouldn't have bothered. But he took it quite outside the realm.
His comfort zone.
Yeah,
It's not actually outside his realm.
No, the outside the realm is not about writing book.
Okay.
But introducing Igbo into the issue. Okay. Because there was nowhere in what I wrote that I mentioned Yoruba or I mentioned any ethnic. It was just purely professional.
Wole Soyinka.
So what brought about Igbophobia into the... And then when I now read about it, it was about Peter Obi, it was about Igbo, it was about Soni Igbo Anugo, as an Igbo person. And I said, no, this is beyond what I can take, because I have seen the trajectory from 2015. If you are an Igbo man in Nigeria, resident in Nigeria, and you do not know that you are a target, then you know that you are not living here. Any Igbo man, including those in the APC, who doesn't know that he doesn't belong under this current Nigerian this thing, that person is not using his number 6.
Yeah, well, some people might differ on that. They might not say it's really not an attack on the Igbo ethnic group, but it's an attack of the very influential people on the rest of Nigerians. Because, of course, what it is, the Igbo people are suffering for equally, it goes round every other person that is not of the class of those who make this some of these things happen.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the general suffering.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the general suffering. You find it in Buhari's 97.5% analogy. Okay. You find it was a policy under his government to give the people of the Southeast the short end of the stick in Nigeria. You find out that was the structure of the APC from day one. Made sure that Igbo people were relegated. Then the government of the APC made sure that. So when I discovered that Soyinka left what we are talking about, and went to the Igbo issue. That was when I became afraid. In fact, when I mooted the idea of replying, some people told me, don't you remember Shoyinka, what he did for Igbo people during the war? He went to jail for Igbo people. He stood against this, and that was after the aftermath of why he wrote The Man Died.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So that I shouldn't reply him. No. I said, maybe you have not read the book. Go and read it.
So that particular everything you went through gave birth to Shoyinka's metamorphosis.
Yes.
Yes, Shoyinka's metamorphosis, as you can see here, echoes from the people's mandate. So what exactly, how did you reply Shoyinka on this particular book?
First of all, I told him that I am not an ethnic person. I'm a Lagos boy. In fact, I'll be happy for you to describe me as a Lagos boy.
As a Lagosian.
Lagosian. This is where I completed my primary school.
Where?
I completed my primary school at African School 1 at Ajeromi Felodo local government. That is where I completed my primary school. And then I went to Awori College, Georgia. That's where I went to secondary school. Under Awolowo and Jakonde. I was personally, you see me, I enjoyed free education from class 1 to class 5.
Wow.
I ate food in the afternoon. Free. Some just food that all of us queued up. In fact, we lost sleep in order to eat that food. We had exercise books. From your pencil, your eraser, your textbooks, your ruler, your math set, everything was provided for you, plus the afternoon meal. So I am not the type of person that you can closet into an ethnic issue. I prefer to be a Lagos boy. You understand? So that was that was how I replied him.
Okay.
And I also introduced the fact that I have lacerations on both in my body and my spirit in June 12. Then I was the correspondent of The Guardian in Enugu during June 12 battle. And I know what I suffered. One of them, in fact, so many experiences, bad experiences, that left me with both physical and psychological lacerations.
All right. Just before we get to our topic, you said here on page 104 of the book, Shoyinka's Metamorphosis Echoes from the People's Mandate, you said, for sure, the world knew that Peter Gregory Obi won that election. The nearest point to the truth Shoyinka was claiming is that he lost the election the way Buhari lost his election from 2003 up until the table turned in the Nigerian electoral system in 2015.
Yes.
So what exactly are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that P2B was rigged out. The same way Buhari was rigged out. 2003. That's what I believe. I'm not saying what the court said. What I believe. If you know up to now, people are still talking about 1978 presidential election and the fact that Awolowo won. You understand? Exactly. It didn't matter whether Shagari was running on. People are still saying that Awolowo won. That is the same way I'm talking about this. That P2B won that election. The same way Buhari won the 2003 election, won the 2007 election, and probably won the 2011 election before he contested in 2015 and was given. That was what I was trying to reflect.
All right.
Yeah. So African elections are not, especially the Nigerian species, is not the type of place you come and you expect the winner of the election to be declared.
Interestingly, it's so very important that we actually started on this particular note. It's so important we started from this, because what we're actually about to dive into is something connected to it. Our Vice President, Shettima, came to the public purview and told the leader of the Conservative Party in the UK, Kemi Badenoch, that she should remove Kemi from her name because she is not doing the PR job the APC government expects from her. Isn't this another issue of Wole Soyinka attacking you for for saying the truth?
When I saw that, I would just give myself a belly full of laughter because I know it's not necessary. It's just pure sophistry. Pure sophistry by the vice president. He knows that Kemi was saying the truth. In fact, Nigeria was described by the same UK as a fantastically corrupt
country. Yeah,
you understand? It wasn't Kemi that said so. It was the Prime Minister himself that says so. Does he think that Nigerians are happy with him or with the government? Nigerians living abroad. Kemi herself is about to step in as the Prime Minister of UK. By the
position that she occupies now.
If there is an election tomorrow,
and the Conservative Party,
they win. Kemi becomes the Prime Minister. But in Nigeria, as we are talking about, the latest now is that Ajofia Masquerade from Nnewi, which is an icon of global culture, cannot come from Nnewi to Lagos
because they feel they
said it is offending the Yoruba culture.
But don't you think they have a case there? Because everyone has the freedom, the right to accommodate what they want to. So if the culture of my land, permits that another culture or whatever it is, the symbolism of another culture comes to my place that I think might deface my own, don't you think it's good enough to say maybe you stay off? You can do whatever it is you want to do, but stay off what that symbolism that might affect me.
And I ask you, when did that start? Because I lived in Lagos. I'm a Lagosian. There's no type of masquerade that we have not seen in this Lagos from outside. There's one that is taller than a 5-story building that they say it came from Kwale. There is one fearful one that we used to see those days on Lagos Street from Igala. Up until APC came. During Iriji Festival at National Stadium, all manner of masquerades from Southeast with officials of Lagos State government
in attendance
and watching and clapping. So it is not about conflict of culture. It is to tell you that you don't belong any longer.
So can this be attributed possibly to...
That is exactly what I'm replying to in this book. You can't take away my right to talk as a Nigerian.
Just like Shettima cannot take away Kemi's apprehension and her issues about Nigeria.
She is angry about what is happening in Nigeria, and that is what she's expressing. The same way I'm expressing my right, that if I say something, if I write an article, see it as a professional journalist of Nigerian expression, not because I'm Igbo. Don't pigeonhole me into that. I will not accept it. That is what I'm doing. That is the essence of this book. And it is very dangerous. It is a protest book. I have written to tell the world that you cannot pigeonhole me. You cannot be more Nigerian than me. We are all Nigerians. So when you are Wole Soyinka, you are a global icon. But I have a tiny corner. Myself, I also have a very tiny corner. Let me stay there. You are a Nigerian of a global recognition. I'm a Nigerian with a tiny voice. Let me have my voice. I have that right to sit in my tiny corner to express my voice while you are the global icon. Nobody is quarreling. But don't deny me of that. Say because I wrote an article, I am no longer a Nigerian, I'm Igbo.
All right, but let's take a look at this. Some Nigerians have called what the Vice President Kashim Shettima, talking about Kemi removing her name, the name of where she's coming from, her ancestry. People have clowned that as stylized bigotry. because that is ostracizing her, that is debasing her, because you can't tell a person who has been given a particular name to remove such a name because she is not in simpatico with what you believe in.
No,
when would we end this issue of fragmentation of ethnicity?
I don't even see it that way. I don't see it that way. Honestly, I don't interpret it that way. What I'm interpreting is the propensity of Nigerians in that level, at that level, to belittle very big issues. You understand? Belittle by, the penchant for, reducing something that is at the core of Nigerian challenges, bringing it low, so that nobody talks about it. It's just a flimsy comment that he made about removing her name. It's not about, I don't think he feels so strongly to ask Kemi to do what he's asking her to do. I think is this idea of whatever happens, belittle it. We talk about what happened in INEC in 2023. They ask you to go to court. Or they say, what of the one you won? What of the one you won? Why? So is it only when you win? They are not looking at the issue you are raising. The issue you are raising that on the 25th of February 2023, 2 elections were held simultaneously. One was uploaded on IREV. The other was not. The other one now, you now see a picture of a woman in a bedroom. And other images. Then the other one is they were accurate, posting of the true elections. That is the issue. You left it. And I'm asking the person that is asking that relevant question. Why are you asking the question, what about the one you won?
Now, this brings us to the hypocritical tendencies of those in authority. What Kemi actually is stating, of course, she made a very profound point here. One of them is that while she was still a young girl in Nigeria, in Lagos State, that she watched the income of her parents depreciate simply as a result of government inhuman policies at the time.
Yes.
Now, bring us back to 2024. Yes. The government policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu equally follows that route.
Yes.
The middle class in Nigeria that used to be like this had totally reduced itself to nothing. Yes. Now, Nigerians with great minds are leaving the country in droves simply because of the same government policies. Now, let's not forget, 21 billion naira was allocated to the building of Shettima'S house in Abuja. 5 billion naira to building another house for him in Lagos. So speak to us on these hypocritical tendencies of our leaders to pretend as if they don't know what Kemi is talking about.
Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. You see, let me give you an analogy. When I was a child, I was a young boy in this Lagos with 10 kobo. I ate what I cannot give my family now. See, when we are living in one room, myself and my elder brother, we are living in one room. But on the table we have there, we had Horlicks. We had all manner of beverage. We have them there. Everything, go to the fridge, took 3 naira to the market. You bought stockfish. You bought, of course, nobody was talking about frozen fish. You bought everything, came and cooked good soup or good stew with 3 naira. So when Kemi said that the economy of her father vanished, perhaps he was referring to the SAP, the SAP policies introduced.
Exactly.
Perhaps that's what she said. So these things are factual. Except you want to lie. The only thing that I'm trying to say is protect the image of the country. How do you protect the image of the country? By lying. And the people we are protecting the image from, they have more facts than even the citizens. The same people are talking about people you are going to seek for investment know about you because they want you bring money to their country to sort away in their banks. They want you, they see these things, they know, they trace every money that comes into their country. They have facts about them. That is why when they say they are returning a better loot, how did they know? Because they know, they have a dossier on it. And that is why they will lend at maybe 1%. 1%, and we give credit at something percent or 40%. You get a loan in the UK. How much did Microsoft use to establish? $1 million naira loan. $1 million loan he got, almost free of interest. That is how that businessmen, once you have idea, present your ideas, you are giving money to go and establish it, go and run it. But in Nigeria, it is not so. Because the money for that is salted away somewhere.
Very true.
So it is the joke is on the vice president, not on Kemi. The joke is on him. And the solution is there in their hands. The solution to Nigeria's crisis, the present, even if today they said, "Thus father, no further." If we have gotten to where we can't move anymore, let us turn back. If they did that today, I can bet you in the next 1 year our story will change.
All right. Just before we leave, you are a journalist yourself, and fortunately, but at the same time, unfortunately, so many journalists have been saddled with the opportunity of becoming media handlers of some of these people, like Kashim Shettima, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. One of them is our colleague, Bayo Onanuga. Maybe another one is not really a journalist, but of course, when he speaks, lots of people listen. Reno Omokri and some other people, are there. So why do you think some of these people who understand journalism find it difficult to speak the truth, knowing that people like Bayo Onanuga stood for the people during military dictatorship? He visited Rwanda at some point and really was so aghast with what happened there. But coming back home, it is opposite. Why do you think that is so?
Well, it has to do with the environment. You can't. It's very rare for you to extricate yourself from the from your environment. You cannot even know who somebody is unless you give the person power or put somebody in a position. You understand? In our climb, position is a very important thing. Do you know how when he moves into the street and you say this is Bayo Onanuga? For that, he's ready to do anything to remain in that position.
So the symbolic value.
Yes,
is what.
Yes, it is very important for him. Look, do you know how many people resigned from the administration of Trump? Very top appointees because they didn't believe in his ideology or what he was saying. But here, people are ready to sacrifice their siblings or their mother just to remain in position that Bayo Onanuga is today. And that is what Reno is struggling
to get close.
to get to that place. So you cannot, if you understood the African mentality very well, you cannot blame Reno. He's trying his best to do anything, including to go back to his distance. And if there was no name he didn't call the president.
Yes, exactly.
Before now.
Yes, before now. Very true.
You understand? There's nothing he didn't say. Exactly the same thing he is saying today. In fact, Reno Omokri was the one that presented the P2B to Nigerians as the best.
Very true.
Yes, that he was the best governor Nigeria has ever seen. Today, what is he saying? He's not telling you that P2B did not build any primary school in Anambra State. If you know Anambra State very well, you know that the least thing an Anambra community we need is a primary school, because Some of them have primary schools that many people are not even going there because they have so many. If you came to my community now, I'm from Anambra State. Okay. How can you be talking about primary school as an investment a governor will make in my community? That is building a road for themselves. A community, a rich man will build a road and we are talking about primary school. P2B will now bring money and say he's building another primary school. When we had primary schools, how many years back? So he will say all these things in order to curry favor and see whether he can get into the government.
All right. We had wished, I personally had wished that we run through, we continue, we talk some more because it's becoming much more interesting. But that's just about the time we have for today. Just to let you know, Sonny Igbanugo's book, Shettima'S Metamorphosis, the echo from the people's mandate, is on sale on Amazon, so you can actually go get a copy there. I hope it will. There will be opportunity, at least for Nigerian stores, to get to have this fantastic book, isn't it?
Yes. That's the next plan.
Okay.
That's the next plan. I will have to get it into the local publication so that people can access the book. Okay. But, the Amazon option was because of certain considerations which came before the book was published.
Okay. All right, so thank you so very much, Sonny Igbanugo. We truly do appreciate your time and blessing us with this book, Shettima'S Metamorphosis. They say echoes from the people's mandate. And I'm so very excited. Dele Farotimi Afe Babalola's issue actually, made Nigerians see reasons to want to read now. Even people who have not read books for close to 20 years desire to want to read Nigeria and its criminal justice system.
This is the next.
This is the next. Yes, Shettima'S Metamorphosis. This is the next.
After that, because Dele wrote maybe 3 months before mine, and I can bet you this is anybody that, in fact, some people call me when they start reading. In fact, one man sat in his car. He read the online edition. Yes. He sat in his car. He was coming to the club. As he was disembarking, he just opened his phone and punched Amazon and started reading the intro. Right there, he decided to buy the book, the online edition. Yes. Bought it and was reading right inside his car for several hours. Wow. The man was confessing to me. He called me and was confessing to me because of the quality of the presentation and the information therein. Fantastic. He couldn't drop it. He couldn't drop his phone. It took him so many hours to get out of the shock for him to come out of his car. That's how rich the book is.
Fantastic. And I also hope to have my own copy very soon. All right, people, that's just about the time we have today for Homo Politicus. I want to believe you enjoyed our show today just like we did right here. And please do well to visit us. You can always find and reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Thank you so very much, Sonny Igbanugo, for being part of our show
today.
Indeed. My pleasure. I appreciate you. I am Henry Igwebike. I'll see you next time on Homo Politicus. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.